In this lecture, we'll spruce up the look of our game, managing a few different rendering, lighting, and shadow settings. Let's pop back into my scene view and actually just immediately start to take a look at our tree shadows. I think it's one of the most glaring issues. You can only see our tree shadow if you're incredibly close with our camera. This is actually using the same distance settings in our scene view as it also is our game view camera, which is quite convenient. However, it's a bit more tricky in this game view window, so we'll just use our scene window for now. To get that covered, we can actually tweak a few of our render settings. To make sure we're using the right rendering asset, let's actually head over to Edit, Project Settings, and scroll down to your Quality tab, which is about halfway down on the left. Under Rendering and Render Pipeline Asset, you'll see a field for the current render pipeline asset currently being in use. You can actually just click this directly here, and if my window wasn't so cluttered, when you actually click that asset in your Project Settings window, you should actually be able to see that highlighted in your Assets folder. With this selected and scrolling down in our inspector, we have a shadows dropdown with a few different settings. The big one we want to change here is our max distance, basically how far away our shadows will stop appearing relative to our camera. Depending on the type of game you're creating, as well as how powerful computer is, your mileage might vary on a few of these different rendering settings that we're going to go through. For now, I'm confident in my max distance of 700, which is actually the same amount of units as one terrain block. That way I can be pretty confident that our player is always going to see the types of shadows that I'd like them seeing in their game view. If you think the shadows are a little bit too harsh, in other words, you'd like your shadows to be a little bit more transparent, you can actually go into your directional light in your hierarchy. At the moment, we only have one directional light, and scrolling down here, you've got another shadows dropdown. You can actually lower the strength of the shadows that will be cast by this specific directional light. I'm going to drag it down to something like 0.7 just to be a little bit more forgiving on how harsh my shadows are. I'm also going to go ahead and create another directional light. And I'll just call this one my fill light. As a reminder, it doesn't actually really matter where our directional lights are in our scene, whether you slide them up or down, all that matters is actually your rotation. So I'm going to just slightly modify it to be a slightly different rotation than my other directional light to kind of fill up the shadows and give it a little bit more volume. Let's actually see what I'm working with here in our scene view. And I'm going to change the temperature or the color on both of my lights. I'd like to have a bit more of an ominous, sort of in the universe, galaxy, stars sort of feeling. If you don't see both the filter and the temperature properties on your light component, you might just need to change your emission light appearance dropdown from color to filter and temperature. So I'm going to have my directional light be a little bit warmer on my overall temperature, and even actually having a filter of probably something just a little bit of a darker orange. Nothing too drastic, probably something around there looks pretty good to me. I'm going to have my fill light, on the other hand, be a little bit cooler, as well as a bluer sort of tint. I think that's already starting to look pretty good. Let's bring in a lighting window tab that we can dock over here in the inspector. Let's go to Window, Rendering, and Lighting. With that window populated, I'm going to dock it over here by my inspector. With that open, I'll toggle over to my Environment tab, and we have a few other options here to directly modify the sort of lighting in our scene. We'll get to modifying our skybox shortly. For now, I'd actually like to toggle on this fog setting. This might actually take your computer a bit to update its rendering technique and some shaders, so we'll go ahead and let it do that first. If you're not seeing this directly in your scene view, you can actually toggle it on by clicking this button here at the very top of your scene view and toggling on fog. For the most part, I think this is pretty distracting in my scene view. I think it makes a lot more sense to view this directly in our game view. So I'm going to actually toggle this off in my scene view and just blow up my game view, but we'll have to resituate our player rig to make sure we're kind of pointing in the right direction to get a better gist of what we're looking at. Let's just slide him way up and just kind of get him pointing off in the distance. At the moment, I think our fog is way too strong. We've got a few different modes in our other settings for different algorithms on how this fog is being rendered. I find the linear mode one the easiest one to sort of get the effect I'm looking for. Once that's compiled, we can actually start to modify our start and our end values. Basically, where the fog starts relative to our camera, I'm going to set mine to something like maybe around there, looks pretty good. And my end, maybe something around 400 for now. The greater the distance between your start and your end, the slower the fade of the fog will be, kind of like the thickness. Clicking the color property of my fog, I'm going to change mine to a pretty dark blue, once again to just kind of match the overall tone that I'm looking for. Not necessarily like we're flying through space, but some sort of uncharted starry planet. I think something around there looks pretty good for me. Next up, let's actually toggle over to our main camera underneath our player rig. We have a few different rendering and shadow settings here as well. With our camera selected and our inspector open, we can scroll down to this rendering dropdown. This post-processing option should be on by default. However, if you're ever wondering why you can't see your post-processing in your main camera view, one of the first things to check is just make sure this post-processing is ticked on. I think we can improve the overall low poly look of our game. Things like our models in our portrait view, our spaceships, our terrain, and our trees all have a relatively low triangle count. I think it'll improve the overall look of our game if we just tick on a little bit of anti-aliasing. Basically the method the camera uses to kind of mush or smooth jagged edges together. There's a few different options here. I'd recommend you actually just click all of them separately just to kind of see the differences, but I'm going to go with temporal anti-aliasing, or TAA for short. Again, your mileage may vary on a few of these different options, but I'm going to change my quality to very high. And my contrast adaptation to maybe something somewhere in the middle, just to kind of get that a little bit unblurred in my game view, maybe something around 0.8 for now. If you really want to see what that difference is back and forth, you can actually go back and just toggle on no anti-aliasing or back to TAA to see the subtle differences. We're only beginning to just scratch the surface when it comes to Unity graphics. But for now, just play around with some of your shadow, lighting, and rendering settings to get the overall look you're pleased with. Some of the most common places that you'd like to remember to look for some of these settings are in your rendering asset, your project settings quality tab, your camera settings, as well as the lighting window that we just opened, found under the environment button. Hold off on updating your skybox as well as playing around too much with your global volume post-processing settings. We'll get there shortly. For now, pause the video, get the effect you're looking for with the settings that we just went over, and I'll see you back here in a few moments. All right, welcome back. I'm pretty satisfied with how mine's looking for now. Here's kind of a before and after contrast of where we were just at only minutes ago before this lecture. We're just getting started updating the overall look of our game. When you're ready to move on, I'll see you on the next one.